Good. Yes. So the members in team number 37 are Nathaniel Zinda. Did I pronounce it well? Good. Okay, I'm good. And he's from Baruch College. We have Augustus Kaptko from New York City College of Technology and Sett Hein from Baruch College. Their project is on real-time flood data to improve climate change resiliency efforts.
We are here today because global weather systems are changing violently. New York City experienced this firsthand in 2012 when Hurricane Sandy pummeled into the Northeast. Now, many of you here in the audience experienced this disaster firsthand. But for those of you who didn't, allow me to present a painful reminder of just how devastating global weather patterns have become. Hurricane Sandy cost New York City $32 billion. And because of climate change, the city estimates that a Sandy-like event in 2050 could cost us, can you guess, $90 billion. So what, if anything, is being done? The Mayor's Office of Recovery and Resiliency is tasked with leading $20 billion in climate change initiatives aimed at strengthening our city's neighborhoods, buildings, infrastructure, coastline. And in pursuit of this, the ORR relies heavily on FEMA's flood insurance rate maps to determine the city's flood risk. Unfortunately, these maps are notoriously unreliable. To illustrate just how problematic these maps are, the blue zones on the screen indicate the predicted areas of flooding from Sandy, while the red zones indicate the actual flooding from Sandy. Approximately half of all the flooding in Brooklyn and Queens was not predicted by FEMA's flood maps. I want all of you to imagine a world in which coastal centers around the globe are empowered by new and innovative sources of data to fight back against the unpredictable effects of climate change. Imagine a world with new forms of collaboration between citizens and their government working together to solve what is perhaps the greatest threat of the 21st century. Well, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce Watson FMS, a first-of-its-kind big data approach to urban flooding. This system leverages Watson's natural language understanding and visual recognition capabilities to analyze publicly available Twitter data in the event of a disaster or intense storm scenario. It then uses that data to compile crowdsourced flood maps for city agents to source and monitor. Now, Watson FMS is the ultimate tool to augment FEMA's flood maps. The real-time data it provides will allow city agents to more effectively deploy their resources. It will improve their broad assessment of the city's flood risk as a whole, and it will serve as a crucial input to optimize computer flooding models. Beyond this, Watson FMS represents something more, a new and exciting evolution in flood mapping. The old methods were static. They were constrained by the limits of existing data at a particular point in time. But the future is something different. The future of flood mapping features real-time, crowdsourced information that for the first time ever will allow for the continuous apprising of the city's flood risk every single time there is a storm. So what are the tangible benefits? Watson FMS will result in dramatic cost savings for both the city and its citizens. And this will come in many forms. For example, reduced property damage, lost economic activity, as well as the more efficient deployment of city resources. And the cost savings for the first 3 years alone are expected to total over $6 million. Keep in mind that these benefits grow exponentially over time, and even more so when we experience a large-scale flooding event like we experienced in 2012. Remember that the fight against climate change, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And Watson FMS represents a crucial first step in preparing our city for the future. And the journey does not stop here, ladies and gentlemen. Watson FMS is a system designed to provide a data set that was never before possible. And the applications for such a system go far beyond just the mayor's office. Imagine the benefits to an agency like the Department of Emergency Management and nonprofit disaster relief organizations who for the first time ever have real-time flood information at their disposal in the event of a disaster. By leveraging the technology afforded by IBM Watson, it is now possible to use data as a remarkably effective weapon in our collective fight against the unpredictable effects of climate change.